Welcome to the LongBox Paradox, episode 53. Gonna start this week with a genital punch right off the bat. No pun intended on the bat. Batman number 85 has released the final issue of Tom King's opus, I guess you could call it. I call it the lowest moment in Batman history of my 30 plus years reading. The City of Bane storyline, a story so big and so important to Bane, he's barely in it. I'm left wondering why. What editor let King run wild on this? I literally, I closed the book and I was like, what was the point? There was no point to the story. There was no fucking point. There really wasn't. Oh boy. Actually, the best part of the book was the epilogue, and that was James Tynion and Guillaume March. And that was about 3 pages. The best part of the book. So, let's just dive into the shit sandwich right off the bat. No pun intended again. We have the showdown in the living room still going on. And we dive right into cat, bat, cat, and him yelling, break him. And then there's a little bit of jumping around, and Bruce is in a bar with some, local just watching a football game, because, that happens. There's time jumps galore in this book. And, Bruce is just being, Mr. Joe Average. We're back to the living room, and the fight's going on, and then we have Batman and Gotham Girl, and they're climbing a tower. Because, all things, fine after, Bane twisted her, and, Thomas made her his ward, kind of. And again, it keeps jumping around. Boy, oh boy. So the main thing of this is taking down Thomas and reigniting the romance of Batman and Catwoman, and they're married, but they're not really married, and it's jumping around, and the dialogue is so fucking cringy in this damn book. It never improves. It never ever improves. And as someone who just had their heart ripped out from a romance ending, reading this didn't even make me, wistful that I am not in a relationship. It literally is, 2 bags of shit talking. There's nothing to grab onto. There is nothing. I want so bad for this to end at least on something to redeem it, to make me wrong. And I'm not. Thomas is pulling a gun on Bruce and telling him, stop being Batman, you're a Wayne, you rise. And we have this, I choose her, I choose happiness, I choose family, and I choose Batman. And then we jump to them in bed, and then Bane goes into the hospital and breaks Thomas's back because Bane got his moment. Bane got his moment in his own storyline. Congratulations, Bane. You at least earned your title role in this storyline. Thomas gets decked. He gets knocked out during the fight. Batman, for some fucking inconceivable reason, gives Gotham Girl platinum kryptonite, and it gives her powers. And we cut back to the end. Bruce is watching the football game with the guy, and Selina walks in. They sit down, and it fades out. We cut to black. Then we get the epilogue with Joker, and it's the old Joker with the giant chin, so I kind of dig seeing that. I don't know if this is going to be 3 Jokers kind of Joker. I don't know. Pretty awesome, though. I did like this moment. With Joker kind of reacting to the Clark Kent identity that was revealed. But the end of the Tom King part, I'm just in my head picturing him just closing his laptop, taking a big inhale, and then fucking nailed it, and just getting up triumphantly. Fuck, this was not good. This is 85 issues. Well, okay, more like 77 with the Josh Williams. And you get this. It's a 5. Like, it's a 5 out of 10. Like, this run's a failure. It's absolutely a failure to end like this. Like, it was such a fucking convoluted mess. Like, there's still things they have not even, like, gone back to even, like, discussing. That whole shit in the desert with Martha's body. Nothing came of that. Not a goddamn thing. Nothing. This story is bullshit. This run is bullshit. Don't trade by it. Don't do anything. Like, buy the button. That's fine. Buy the price, because those were mostly written by Josh Williamson. And those were the best stories out of this run. It's just how it is. It just is. And yeah, I am not looking forward to the Batman Catwoman series, and the sad thing is I really like the Phantasm. I really like Clayman. I will not put my money into that shit. Will not. Tom King writing Batman, he's just not meant to do it. He just isn't. It's kind of how I felt about Scott Snyder writing Superman Unchained. Jim Lee's art was fantastic, but Snyder he doesn't have the voice, in my opinion, of Superman. And in this case, Tom King, he was too in love with deconstructing Bruce and Batman, where I felt like Scott Snyder did enough of that in his run, where it was just kind of beating the same point over and over and over and over again. And this is what we get. The student tried to surpass his teacher and did a pale imitation and did a poor job, in my opinion. Some people like it. I did not. And if you like it, don't let my opinion sway you in any way. It's my opinion and mine alone. So with that, let's just move on. And by talking about my relationship, sorry, that was probably a little more personal than I need to add in. But hey, it's kind of a thing happening. I was going to review Doomsday Clock, but since I am doing a live stream on Doomsday Clock Sunday, I decided to hold that one back. Because one, there's a ton to unpack of that issue. That was a jam-packed issue with an ending that I am still trying to kind of unload in my brain. So much happened. So much. And we will be talking about that, myself, Gambit, and the Comic Queen, Nat. Join us 9 o'clock Eastern on Sunday night, the 22nd. And from Boom Studios, going with Once and Future. This one actually was not one of my favorite issues of it. It was decent, but still, this was mostly explaining the whole Galahad-Percy connection and how Gran, had a Percy and why there's a Galahad and how the story ends. She shoots herself to become the Fisher King, and Percy has to go on the quest, and that was to find the procession and free the maiden from the eternally boiling cauldron. And basically he's trying to save his Gran by getting the Grail. And we find out a little bit more. Again, this is one of those issues where it was trying to fill in the blanks where not a whole lot happened. Decent issue, but after the last 4, it was a bit of a letdown. I'd say about a 5.56. I had a lot more hope, especially with one issue left in this series. I really hoped for more. But at the end did pay off, because He went and he found the basically where the ladies of the lake were, and he says, I am unworthy and unarmed, but I need your assistance, ladies, please. And you see this word balloon saying, "We here unite. We will lend you arms. Excalibur is yours," and that is the end of the issue. Again, I found it a little lacking. I needed a little bit more from it, but all in all, though, it was enjoyable. Like, the series as a whole, I mean, one clunker issue isn't ruining it for me. It was just, for me, just kind of slowed it down a little bit, where like every issue's kind of since issue 1's been a little faster. But I guess they did have to slow it down before going to the next one. And from Image Comics, we have by Greg Rucka, Leandro Fernandez, The Old Guard, Force Multiplied. It's been, I'd say, close to 2 years since the last one came out. And this starts with a flashback 6,700 years ago, somewhere in Central Eurasia, and talking about battle and what it does to you and how you feel during it and how you feel afterward. And then we jump to California Highway 1. A lot of this issue is internal monologue and getting chased by cops on a high-speed chase through LA while there is a heist going on in another area. Weirdly, not a lot verbally being done in this issue. Spoken, a lot of word balloons, a lot of silent parts of it where you kind of fill in the blanks as the page is telling the story more than the writing is. And one of them is taken prisoner. Weirdly, this was an insanely fast issue. It was actually distractingly fast because by the time it got moving, it was over. I'm a huge fan of Greg Rucka. Leandro Fernandez's art is hit and miss for me. I did really like the first series, but the first series also gave you a lot of the origin and what was going on with the old guard. So I'm at a 5 on this, 5 out of 10. I'd recommend picking up the first trade and reading it for the first mini, because you can't really pick this up and know what happened. So that would be my recommendation on this. I'd say read the original series first before you decide to pick up this, because again, it's really hard to pick up without knowing what went on or what the characters are, because they don't even talk about the characters. They don't really talk about their names, nothing. You have to go in knowing everything before jumping in, so it's not new reader friendly. With that being said, those are my 3 reviews for this week. I will be probably posting more on my Instagram. You can find me at comic_chop_news on Instagram for the channel. Also, Chop Comic on Twitter. Again, thank you for giving me time of your day and listening to me bitch about Tom King's Batman. I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great week, and hope to see some of you on Sunday in the live stream. Take care. Bye.